Welcome to the interview presented by Alabama Wrestling Forums. I'm Jackson Bast here with two-time Alabama State champ Chase Hicks. How you doing today, Chase?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well. So let me start out by asking, what got you into wrestling?
Just in elementary school, saw a flyer. It said wrestling. As a kid, you're always like, I'm gonna go fight with my cousins or something. I figured that's what it was gonna be like. It's nothing like that, but still wanted to do it. Turned out liking it.
That's awesome. So we talked a little bit before the interview. You started over with Eric Lee at EAWC. How did he kind of give you a great foundation to start wrestling?
Well, starting out as like that young, you got to start out, and he didn't like push you to keep coming. Like you go, and it's like not practicing hard the whole time, just because as a kid you're not gonna keep coming if you don't like it and it's hard, So you just work into it, and it got harder and harder as you go. But like you're already invested in it, so you're just gonna keep coming.
So what were Coach Lee's keys to success?
Basically just coming, practicing hard every day. You practice hard, you're going to get results. They might not show soon, but you're going to get them eventually.
How did having the opportunity to wrestle as an 8th grader on varsity kind of help give you a good start to it?
Just coming in, the team at that young age, they're not really expecting much. They're just like, we got to fill a spot, so he's going to go in right there. And so you just go out there, and there's really no pressure on you then. You just go out there and wrestle, and results show.
You wrestled at Oxford High School, and I know you guys have had tons of different coaching in the last couple of years, especially while you've been there.
Yeah.
How did kind of having a lot of coaches benefit you, but also not benefit you in your years?
It benefited me because, you get to see a bunch of different wrestling styles, and you just pick up the moves that you like as you go. And it didn't benefit me because, you don't get as much of a connection as if you had one for 4 years, 6 years, or however long. So, just changing it out. But, still the better part of it is you get to see different moves, pick up the ones you learn or pick up the ones you like, and it works out.
Definitely. So, obviously, you placed your 8th grade year. You made it to the finals your freshman year, and you made a giant jump from you lost to was that Andrew Smith?
Yeah.
Your freshman year to winning 2 state titles. What kind of helped you in making that giant jump?
Basically just going to practice and getting better, and then coming in with more confidence. Then, because that year, 11th grade year when I won it the first time, I came in with confidence because I hadn't lost any of those kids at that weight because it's 30-pound difference. So most of the kids I've wrestled weren't at that weight. So, going into 9th grade, I had lost to Andrew already probably like 3 times. So, confidence wasn't necessarily there just because I had lost to him so many times. But, going in the next year, I'm like, okay, I haven't lost to any of these kids. So, I'm just going to keep going and doing what I do. Don't change it. See how it works.
So your junior year, you obviously won it, but the week before state, you placed 4th at sectionals. What did you tell yourself going into the state tournament with such a, you weren't put in the best position in the bracket? What were you telling yourself going into that weekend?
Well, at sectionals, I lost to Pearson from Mae Jemison. And going in, I had gotten a takedown and 2 back points to start the match. So, then I was like, okay, I can beat this kid on my feet. And then he just out-wrestled me on top and bottom on the mat. And so I was like, okay, if I have to wrestle him again, I'm going to go out there and just wrestle neutral, try to keep it the best I can right there. Because I think he won by I think he majored me just from back points, turning me, all that. And then I lost to Bo Ackle by 1 point. So, it's a winnable match. So, I went in, I was like, okay, I'm not out of reach of any of these guys, Just keep doing what I'm doing. Have different styles for all of them, Like some of them you can wrestle on the mat because I'm a better wrestler than I'm on the mat. But Pearson, he was better on top and bottom than me. So, I just go out there and I was like, try to keep it neutral. Ended up not having to see him, but.
It's always good to have a game plan.
Yeah.
So going into your senior year, you obviously got the news that 5 and 6A are going to become one. What was your immediate reaction to that?
Well, I mean, I knew there was going to be better competition, and I like that. I mean, going out and wrestling the best kids every day. I mean, I like that. You get better each match. Like, even if you don't have a good kid, I mean, you're going to see one eventually because they're in your bracket. So, I mean, you're just going to get the best competition you can.
So how did COVID-19 affect your year this year?
I wouldn't say it affected me too much because I never really got sick from it. But, I mean, we did shut down for 2 weeks right before Christmas. And so, I mean, coming back from that, that's where one of my losses came from, just not practicing for 2 weeks, coming in. And then I wrestled Gardendale and lost Poe, which, I mean, that was a winnable match too. I just didn't do it when it mattered.
So take us through your state title run. I mean, just thinking about it, that bracket had 3 state champs as their 1, 2, and 3 seed, and you, Gabe Warren, and Gray Ortiz. What are you thinking going into the state tournament?
Going in, I looked at it and I was like, okay, they're both on the bottom side when I looked at it because I was the 1 seed, they were 2 and 3. And so I was like, okay, I'm only going to have to wrestle 1. That's how I looked at it. But I still had to wrestle Mick Williams from Wetumpka and then the kid from Robertsdale, Strain, which I didn't really wrestle my best matches against them two. I think I won by 4 and then won by 1. And so, I mean, I didn't wrestle my best match, but I knew, like, my toughest match was going to be in the finals against, because they had been there. They know how to win when it comes to it. So I was like, okay, I just got to go out there and wrestle. But I mean, I guess I finally showed up at the end when it mattered.
So that's going to bring me to my next question. What were you thinking in your head when you were going into that finals match against Gabe Warren?
Well, in my head, I was thinking, okay, I'm a better wrestler than him, but I also know he's more of like I'm going to try to throw you. So I was like, the whole time I was like, I got to watch for the big throws, try not to go to my back because that's what's going to keep him in the match in the end.
So I got to ask, why'd you cut the mullet off, man? It was looking real good for a while.
It's getting summertime. It's just getting hot. And then washing it took too long. I was like, it's got to go.
Nah, I get it. I didn't get a haircut for like 3 months one time, and I hated water from my hair. But
yeah.
So obviously, I know that we've talked. You plan on wrestling in college. Do you have any kind of you narrowed down your choices yet?
I haven't signed nowhere yet, but that's gonna be here in the next few weeks probably. It might be this week or next week. I don't know yet. But
can you give us like your top 5, or you just go keep it on the DL?
Nah, we're just gonna keep it on the DL right now.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask. So I have the segment on my show called The Weigh-In. So where I have you guys weigh in on some hot button topics. My first question is, do you think kids should be able to wrestle with their club in season? And if so, why?
I think they should. I mean, you think about it, you're still just getting practice in. I mean, and they're going to be like, oh, not everybody can go to a club. But, I mean, if they're willing to practice in the season, they're going to go wherever they can. Like, it's not about it's closer for them, it's closer for them. It's about I'm going to go put in that work effort, and that's it.
That's it. So I forgot to ask you this earlier in the broadcast. So I'm going to ask you that now. How did having a lot of those guys, like I know you had Clay Webb, Wesley Slick, among other guys, and you had Chisholm, all those guys. How did having those guys in the room at Oxford benefit your wrestling?
Well, I mean, doing that, most of them, or a lot of the good competition in our room the past 3 years have been around my weight. So, I mean, I'm practicing with, all right, so Reed Hill, he won state once. Chisholm, 2-timer. Slick was a 1-timer. And then Landon Burridge was in the finals twice. So, I mean, all 4 of those guys were around my weight class the last 3 years. So, I mean, practicing with them every day, they're pushing you to get better. No matter, like, if you want to or not, they're going to push you.
What are you looking forward to for the future of Oxford wrestling?
Just see what we had a lot graduate this year. I think we had 6 graduate. So, I mean, there's a lot of young guys. Just see what they can go out there and do. See if they can show up,
Is there anyone in particular that you're looking forward to seeing in the future?
There's probably 2, Shelton and Howell.
Okay, so my next question. So I'm gonna go back to the weigh-in real quick. Do you think that Alabama wrestling should be one division or multiple divisions? And if it's multiple divisions, how do you think it should be split up?
I think this year, I think it was probably split up evenly because, I mean, you think 1A through 4A, most of them guys are too small, or most of them teams are too small because you look Weaver, I think, who ended up winning it? Was it Weaver or Asheville?
Yeah, Asheville.
Asheville. I mean, you think last year, what were they, like maybe top 10? They weren't even top 10.
They had like 5 placers, so they might have been.
So, like, their teams are just too small. And so if you do one division, then you got 7A. All those guys, none of them guys at Asheville are even going to beat any of the kids in 7A, like Thompson or Vestavia. So, I mean, you think, like, splitting them up evenly, it gets the kids a chance to keep growing the programs at them smaller schools and tries to get them more confidence. And then maybe when the teams start getting good, then you can try to put the programs together and see how it works out.
Definitely. Well, is there anything you want to say to my viewers before I let you go?
Just thanks for giving me the time, talk to you and just watching it, learn more about it.
Awesome. Well, I know all my viewers really appreciate it. And thanks to all my viewers, all you guys. So keep watching. We always love doing it.
Big thank you to Chase Hicks for doing this interview, and congratulations to him for committing to Bluefield State after the interview happened, but before it's going to air. And thank you all you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay cool. I've been wrestling.